Hi, BC family. Welcome to your midweek devotion. This week, I want to talk to you about pain. So, one of the things that I was talking about over this weekend, I had the privilege of preaching at our church this last Sunday, was I was talking about choices. And pain is a part of our choices. So, I want you to think about your focus. What you focus on, you end up developing in your life. And I want you to think of it in the context of cameras, maybe an old school camera or your cell phones. When you go on vacation and you take pictures, your photograph is what you were focused on. And eventually you develop that. With your iPhones nowadays, you go and you print off pictures and you have it printed on things so you can put it up in your house. But in old school cameras, you would focus on things, capture that, and then that's what you would later develop. So this week, I want to talk to you about your choices with pain. And I'm going to start off with Hebrews 12:2. Hebrews 12:2 says, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. So again, what we focus on, we develop. So where we place that focus, our concentration, what we meditate on is crucial to what we want to grow in our lives. Now, one thing about pain can be mental, emotional, or physical. It can come from people's words, people's actions. It can be a sickness, right? Frustration can come from pain. Frustration can lead to pain. Pain is a part of everybody's life. And one thing that's universal, no matter what pain you're walking through, is pain has a voice. Pain is loud and pain speaks. But here's the other catch. Pain is important to our growth. It's important in our life. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So when I was saying that pain speaks, think about if you have like a simple headache. Suddenly now you're adjusting your day because of the pain that you are feeling and the pain that you are going through, right? Pain has a voice and pain's supposed to have a voice. Our choice, going back to choices, is deciding how much voice are we going to give this pain? Are we going to put pain as the focus and the center stage of our life? Or are we going to let pain have its voice, but then we're going to take it to God, fixing our eyes on Jesus, putting that on our focus and say, okay, God, what does your promises say about this pain, right? So on Sunday, I talked about frustrations and I talked about when I used to work at an old job and I was very frustrated with it. There were some painful things I was going through with it. And instead of leading my frustration, I was feeding it. I was just complaining and consumed by it. And then one day I realized I need to do something about this. I need to lead my frustration. And that's when I went from putting the pain and the frustration as my focus and just developing more frustration in my life to stopping and saying, okay, frustration, you've had your voice and I hear where the problem is and where the pain is, but I'm going to put God's promises as my focus. And I'm going to focus on what I want to develop in this journey. And I was able to grow through that stage of my life and go into amazing, great things. And none of that would have been possible without the frustration first. So that's why I was saying that pain is important. You can't grow stronger or build muscle without pain. You can't grow without stretching. And growing pains is real. Ask any child. You can't birth a baby without labor. Pain is important. Pain's a part of the process, right? So the verse that I started with said, fixing our eyes on Jesus, because he is our joy and the joy of the Lord is our strength, right? We want to make him and his promises center stage. That's how we can move through difficult seasons. That's how we can go through the pain, how we can push past bad habits, overcome addictions. That's how you can love when someone is being unlovely. That's how you can have peace when your children are making sad decisions. You can do all of that because in our moments of pain, we're not putting pain as the focus. We're choosing to let that pain push us into the arms of our Abba Father and saying, okay, God, my pain is saying this. What does your promise say about this pain? Stretch me and grow me and bring me through to fulfillment, right? Hebrews 12:2 continues on with, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. The only way Jesus saw the pain that was coming, he was in pain, he was going to God and he was like, if it can go any other way. But instead of keeping pain his front and center, allowing all of that to be louder, he put the joy in front of him. That's how he was able to endure. So when we fixate our eyes on Jesus, we're putting him in front of us. And that's where our strength comes from. And that's how we are able to walk through our seasons, right? My whole sermon on Sunday was on choices. So this week you have choices. What are you going to focus on? What are you going to magnify? Is it going to be the pain, or are you going to focus on the promise? Is it going to be the hurt or the healing? Is it going to be the labor or the reward? I talked about growing pains earlier. It's real, although some kids don't feel it. Most do. And in that moment, it's painful and they're crying and they're just in agony. And I try and take their focus off of their pain and put it on the reward. Do you know why you're in pain? This pain is good news. This pain means you're stretching. It means you're getting taller. It means you get to buy new clothes. You change the perspective of their pain, and you focus on how this pain is good for them, because they're going to stretch and they're going to grow and they're going to have so many great things because of this pain, right? But you want to focus on the reward, because when you focus on the pain, now you're not growing through a season. You're just going through it. You're focused on your pain, you're complaining every day, you're feeding your frustrations, and you're just doing your best to make it through. And then suddenly you've survived it. We don't want to walk through our pain like that. We want to say, okay, pain, you're here. I see you, but I'm going to put the promise in front of me. I'm going to put Jesus in front of me. I'm going to fixate on him so that I can grow through this. And instead of just surviving, I'm going to thrive, right? That's how you can come out the other side with fulfillment. I really loved Charlotte Gamble's definition of pain. She said, pain can either be seen as your enemy or you can make it your training partner. I loved that. She said you can even make it your friend. Pain has the ability to hurt, but also the capacity to help. I loved viewing pain and frustrations and some of our difficult moments as a training partner. It's like, okay, this is happening and I'm looking at it, and now I want to grow through this, and I'm going to make it through, and I'm not just going to survive, and I'm not just going to go. I'm going to take it to God, and I'm going to fix my eyes on him. And the way that we can do that is in Psalms 46:10. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." When we take our pain to God, we're not just going to God and begging him to just deliver us, make it all better. I mean, we really want to. But what's important about being still in his presence is I brought my pain, I've taken it to him first, and then I'm still. I'm still in his presence, and allow him to speak into you, to speak into your life. Let the Holy Spirit illuminate what you need to see in this pain. How can you grow? How can you grow through this season? How can you grow through what you're going through? It's inviting him to walk with you through something, teaching you how to access peace and joy in the midst of the hard. In the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they didn't just get delivered from the fire. I'm sure that's what they wanted, but that's not what they got. They got thrown into the fire, but God showed up in the midst of their fire, in the midst of their pain and their problem and their difficult. God showed up and walked with them. It said that the king looked in to the front, I think it's Nebuchadnezzar, but I forgot his name, looked in and saw them walking. There was 4 men walking. Jesus was there walking with them in their fire until the door opened and they were brought back out to victory. And not just victory, they didn't just make it out. They had no burnt smell on them. Their clothing wasn't touched. And now the king's like, oh, these men are up here. Let's do what they said and let's obey their God. They didn't just survive that and come out with burned clothes and smelling like smoke. No, they thrived in that. They grew in that, and they came back better than they were before they went in it. That's what taking our pain, making it our training partner, and saying, okay, God, I got pain here, but I'm going to give it over to you. I'm going to lay it in your hands, and you're going to show me how I can grow through this so that I come through thriving and not just surviving. So this week, Be still in his presence and take your pain to him and your frustrations to him, and let him walk you through your obstacles and stretch you so that you are growing your way into victory. Have a fabulous week. Bye.